I'm a teacher, and we were trying to get prepared for the following week of school, trying to make videos for virtual students, trying to have all of our copies ready. All of a sudden, all of the office staff was running down the hall towards me, and then they started calling my name over the intercom that I needed to contact the office right away.
And that's when I got a text from Abby that just said, Eli had a seizure. Can you get to the school right now? I started moving at like 100 miles per hour and the world was in slow motion.
They just automatically put Eli on the stretcher and are ready to take him. And so like in that moment, Andy and I had to decide, okay, who's going to go with him? I mean, in the middle of COVID, hospitals had a lot of regulations. Can two parents be there? And on top of that, we don't have any family that live here in town. So what are we supposed to do with a 5-year-old who cannot go to the hospital?
When I talked with Eli in the ambulance, he was just real quiet. I don't know, it was like he was tired. It's like he wasn't fully there, but he was. Like he would respond to you, but he just wasn't fully present.
And then Andy sent me a text to say they did a CT scan and that they had found what they were calling a lesion on his brain.
Immediately, they started getting us ready to go do an MRI.
Yeah, when I got there, the neurosurgeon came in and introduced himself to me and immediately pulled up the images and started showing me, well, this is what his brain looks like. And do you see this over here? That's not supposed to be there. I think this needs to come out. And I said, the lesion? And he goes, yeah. And I go, well, how soon? And he goes, probably tomorrow morning.
I don't think I've ever experienced a moment where the only way I can describe it, I was prayed out. And so when we, made a few posts on social media and just were bombarded with encouragement and prayers, like it was the words that we didn't know how to get out from what we were feeling in that moment.
So I laid in that chair and prayed all night long, and I just sat there and listened to that heartbeat and that monitor and all those vitals just over and over for hours, just because I felt like that was the only thing I could do at that moment in time.
Just before the surgery, and Eli looks over to me and says, Dad, I'm scared. And I told him the truth of, hey, bud, I'm scared too. So we just took a moment and pulled up some songs and just sang along and worshiped, and then we spent some time praying as a family.
I feel like we were in slow motion, that we were telling him goodbye and they were slowly wheeling him out of the room. And then Andy and I had to turn around and walk away, and everything was quiet. Like all the monitors were turned off, and the room that had been so full of people and everything moving around for hours, it was just quiet. It was just Andy and I just sitting there.
I remember that's when I got a text from a mentor in college that I was a good dad, I was a good husband, and to remain steadfast. I read the text, it was literally like a sentence long, and I broke down, and I remember she looked at me, she's like, what is wrong? What has happened? And I showed her the text, and it was like, it just is what we needed in that moment. A simple reminder just to hold on. After the surgery, the surgeon came in, and that what it was something called a cavernoma, which was a malformed pocket of blood vessels. What had happened is that cavernoma had hemorrhaged and started bleeding, which caused all the seizures.
There was really no rhyme or reason as to why it would have happened to Eli.
Probably less than 24 hours after the surgery, the occupational therapist came in and started running all the different types of tests, and Eli just was knocking them out of the park like he didn't have brain surgery. And the occupational therapist kind of told us that the things that he was doing 24 hours out from the surgery that most kids wouldn't normally be doing.
A few days after we got home, Eli and I were together, and he asked me, why did God let this happen to me? And I said, and I think someday you're going to be able to use this story to bring people to Jesus. And I said, I already know that's happened, that there were people that were praying for you that maybe don't often talk to God, and they were doing that for you. And so your story is going to impact people's lives and how they know the love of Jesus.
Do you believe that's true?
Yeah, it's happening right now.